So just the other day, I was scrolling through my timeline as I usually do, and I came across this story that really caught my attention. I thought it was a news story. Clearly, I believe this story happened back in 2021. I never heard about it. But for some reason, the algorithm has thrown it back on my timeline, and I've been seeing a couple of other people touch on it too. So I think it, just must be making a reappearance on all of our timelines. So it was quite interesting, and it was actually not necessarily in my area. I am from the DMV area, but as we all know, well, if you don't know, Baltimore, which is where this incident took place, Baltimore is a whole nother entity in itself. If you try to combine the two, you're asking for war. So, there was just many things, many details on this case that really caught my attention. So I decided, why not share it with you? I feel like this is the perfect platform to do it, because I know for a fact that there is a large community of people out there who enjoy crime documentary shows as well. So, and like when you watch these shows, like especially when you're intaking this type of content a lot, it's a lot to take in. And sometimes it's just good to just, be able to, vent and just talk about what you've taken in, because it could be a lot. There's some crazy folks out there. So I just figured, why not bring it to you all and let's talk about it. So if you haven't heard about it, sit back, go get you a snack. Speaking of snacks, I got this popcorn from Trader Joe's the other day. When I tell you, okay, so my intent was to open it with you all and try it. But as you see, that didn't go as planned. However, I can attest and I can assure you that this popcorn right here, straight fire. Like, for real. And I know I say that about everything. No, I don't. Don't be laughing that hard. No, but this right here, like, seriously, this is like the best popcorn that I've had thus far. Like, I'm serious. I know that's a big statement, but this is really good because the honey, okay, the first thing you taste is the sweetness of the honey. The honey really tastes like caramel. So it's like you eating like Crunch and Munch, like for real. But then you get a taste of the butter. It's like the honey you taste, then you taste the butter. And then after you swallow it, it's a heat, like a real heat that hits the back of your throat. I've never had popcorn that does all of that. Like, it does a lot, but it's so good. I promise you, it is so good. I'm going to get 2 bags next week when I go. It's so good. So if you're in Trader Joe's, even if you're not, if you have access to a Trader Joe's, please go get these. And I'm telling you, Trader Joe's, please don't get rid of these. Like, these right here, yeah. They need a whole aisle just for these. Like, for real, it's really good. But anyway, I didn't come to talk about popcorn. Let's get into this story. As Tanika say, let's get to the point. Okay. So this story takes place July 28th, 2021, just a little bit after 11 p.m. in Essex, Maryland. There was an officer. Oh, by the way, Essex is basically Baltimore. There was an officer that was doing a routine traffic stop because this particular person, whose name is Nicole Michelle Johnson, she was clearly speeding. So the officer pulled her over, and she also had a friend in the car with her. Her friend's name was BB. So the officer gets Nicole's registration, gets her information. He takes it to the patrol car, and, he runs her stuff in the system. Well, turns out it responded, vehicle requested, not found. Turns out Nicole Michelle, if you're nasty, didn't have a license, and the tags that she had, the registration, was not valid. It was, something very scammy. So the officer told her, basically, we're going to have to impound this car. She didn't put up much of a fight. She asked him, could she grab some of her things? He obliged. So she went to open the trunk, and it was just piled with just all types of bags, like bags on top of bags. Giving very much bag lady. So the officer decides she's going to give her a ticket. It was kind of awkward though, because while the officer was doing that and talking to her, she just left the trunk completely like wide open. Like, she was awfully confident that things weren't going to go left. Like, really. But at that time, no one, was really suspicious. It was mild, but it wasn't, it definitely grew as time went on. So the officer pretty much wrote her ticket. He told her that she would have 5 days after that day to go to court. If not, she would have a warrant out for her arrest. But she also tried to play victim, acting as though, she was the victim of being scammed with her tags. I think she was saying that she got them off the internet, and the cop was just like, you can't do that. Like, you have to be careful because that's illegal.
Really thought I got good tags.
You gotta be careful with that
I know
stuff off the internet and all that kind of stuff like that. That stuff don't even be legit.
Like, you literally.
So while he was actually giving her the ticket, she said the most bizarre thing.
Watch tomorrow, y'all are gonna see me on the news. Y'all are gonna see me make my big debut.
Her big what? So then she calls a friend for a ride because they're going to tow her car. And the officer lets her know basically that he's going to do a search of the entire vehicle. Mama starts freaking out, right? She's freaking out. She's just talking all this off the wall stuff. Like, the dots are not connecting anymore. Like, she's really coming loose at the seams, as she should. As she should. So then the second officer arrives on the scene. He instantly notices something that's definitely like so wrong in this situation. The first officer, he must have been new. The second officer, he picked it up just like that. So, and they also noticed that there was a very putrid odor coming from her vehicle. And if you're an officer, I'm sure, if you're a person who deals with that type of stuff, that's the scent that you never mistake and you never forget. So from there, it was downhill.
But finding the source of the smell is easier said than done, as whatever is inside is buried beneath endless layers of plastic trash bags.
So then the officer said, he asked her, he was like, what is that horrible odor coming from them bags? So she tried to tell him that it's months and months and months of dirty laundry that she's just been riding around with. So he says, okay, well, open it up. Let me see. Baby, she was reluctant, but he was adamant. He was not having it with her.
What? Open that up. Open that up.
So she keeps telling the officer, as she's trying to open the bags, she's just still trying to convince him that it's just dirty pissy. Oh yeah, she added pissy onto it too. She said she kept trying to convince him that it was only it was just dirty pissy laundry that that was causing the odor. He paid it, honey. He was stern. He wanted to see for himself. So he had told her that once she opened everything up, once she, because they was cutting through layers, and my God, it was so many layers. It was like cutting through the Earth's core, honey. I think the Earth's core has less layers than that. But yeah, she cutting. So he tells her there was actually a suitcase under all of that cut. Oh, it was just too much. He told her that once she opened the suitcase, she'd be free to go. So the more she's stalling, the more suspicious and the more intense the energy is getting. So at this point, they sick of her. Like, open this up, like now. Like, meow. So she finally opens it. And once the officer gets a glimpse of all that he basically needs to see, he realized exactly how crazy the situation just got. And when she knew she was caught, when she knew the gig was up, she tried to run. She tried to run, but she didn't get too far. They caught her with her, arrested her, and do you know, she had the unmitigated goal to open her mouth and say, what did I do? I don't know what she's on. But whatever it is, give me 2.
What the f? Get the f in! Put your hands up! Don't you Turn over right now! You're under arrest! Don't you move! Don't you move! Put your hands behind your back! Put your hands behind your back!
What I do?
What the f?
It's not mine.
What the f? What the f?
So now the officers are pissed because she really just made them work. They really just burned off their donuts, chasing her and fooling with her. But not just that, you know, based on what they had just seen, they were traumatized. They were really traumatized. So, you know, they were screaming and hollering. They ended up arresting both Nicole and BB. And after the fact, the officers themselves were so traumatized and so shook up that they had to console each other. A few of them actually got physically ill. Like, it was so bad. I don't think they had ever seen anything like that before, which is crazy. Like, I take my hat off to people, you know, who deal with that. Like what they call them, the first patrol or the something, I forgot. But the people who deal with crazy situations like that, like, you have to be built a certain kind of way to be able to deal with that. And even the toughest, after a while, you really have to be very good at putting up a wall, like, I mean, stone cold, like, that just can't be penetrated. Like, that's a different kind of person to be able to deal with that kind of stuff, you know, years after year, you know, year after year after year. I couldn't imagine. I don't even like to watch it too much on you know, on TV. You know, like, I don't know. I'm a bit of an empath, so I couldn't do that. But I take my hats off to those that do.
This is not a game. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not going to. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We're not going to take that route. We're not going to take that route. You're going to sit here and we're going to wait. Yes. We're going to get to that point. But don't you say another word.
Now, that Nicole might have been stupid, but she wasn't dumb. Because she knew to make that kind of request while the cameras were still rolling. Let that body cam had not been on. Baby, she might have got her request. So now Nicole is just running her off at the mouth. Like, she's just yakety yak. And at this point, the officers are really sick of her. Like, they don't want her to say anything. I believe if they had a muzzle, they would have strapped her down on her that night. Because they were sick of her. Like, she just would not shut up. For someone who just, you know, had been caught with such a gruesome scene, I don't understand why she has so much to say either, honestly. And, like, these officers were still trying to digest what they had just seen, what they had just witnessed. That's not something you see, you know? Horrible. Child, meanwhile, the other officer so shook up, she done provoked him to prayer.
Oh Allah, I seek thy refuge in you from the whisperings of an accursed devil who whispers into the hearts of men.
So some of the other officers were still going through the bags in her vehicle, because when they got the glimpse of what they saw, that she didn't open it completely up. So they were still going through things. So they opened up the suitcase, and actually before then, some more officers had arrived. And they were trying to figure out what was going on, because they didn't realize the severity of the situation. They just knew that all of their colleagues were, like, tore up, like, for real. Like, this was really messing them up. But they opened the suitcase. They said it was a baby, but it actually wasn't a baby. It was a 7-year-old little girl. But I guess because she had been in there so long, you know, she had shrunk. So they said that she looked like a baby. So a lot of the officers, they refused to look. It was just bad. Like, I know that all of these guys use their insurance to get good therapy after this, because that was just a scenario that was just terribly traumatic. Terribly traumatic.
Oh, God. Oh,
What
Jesus
is?
Christ. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. It's a little girl.
What?
So they then take both women to the precinct. BB just seemed so confused. Like, she really did not know what was going on. She didn't even know what planet she was on. And Nicole kept telling them that BB had nothing to do with it. But at this point, we're not quite convinced yet. But it's a possibility because she really just seems oblivious to everything that's going on. So it remains to be seen if BB had anything to do with this, if she was an accomplice or anything like that. It remains to be seen. So
stand up for?
Where I'm going at?
We're going to be
To the precinct.
For what?
Ma'am, stand up.
Stand up.
Enough. Stand up. Walk.
BB, be good. You are okay. You know you don't be with me. You know.
So Nicole then tells the officers that BB is actually mentally challenged. So that's why she's like oblivious to everything that's going on. Because once they get to the precinct, like BB is like so confused.
I'm here for that.
Ma'am, you don't ask you that question about 3-4 times, and I done told you the same answer about 3-4 times. I'll tell you again. You are in police custody. You are going to be sitting right there in handcuffs with your bag right there until somebody with either equal rank that knows that was out there with this call, or somebody ranks higher than me comes to me and tells me to do something else. So get comfortable, relax. You're going to be here for a while.
No shade. I'm starting to think Michelle was a little mentally challenged too. Because while BB was trying to get some understanding, Michelle is in the other room talking to herself. Cuckoo.
I'm all like, what am I arguing for? Just open it and let them look at me. So stupid. So stupid.
But don't count BB out now. She might be a little mentally challenged, but all is not lost. Because she was trying to be very stunty about the situation, honey. Watch.
Okay. Can I go to hospital then? I go to hospital then?
What is your health complaint, madam?
Can I go to hospital then?
What's wrong with you?
Because my knee hurts. I'm not feeling good.
Your knee hurts. You're not feeling well.
I'm not feeling well.
You're conscious and breathing, so to me you look fine.
I'm not fine.
Okay, then what's wrong?
I'm not fine.
Okay, then let's discuss what's wrong so I can get you the help you need.
The officer informs his supervisor of BB's complaint, but when he returns for details, he's met with an interesting response.
How bad is your knee? Can you see?
Can I have my knee? Are you done?
Oh, wow.
Just switch my knee hurt too hard.
What knee is hurt?
This one.
Hey, show me where you're hurt.
Mama, not manicure on your big hole.
Okay.
Not get that. What did you get that? What did you get that?
Okay.
BB is then informed that if she chooses to go to the hospital, she'll need to wear shackles.
I can walk.
No.
I can take that.
No.
That's not his
You're
word.
going to the hospital, you're getting shackles on.
Point blank period.
If and a butt. That's not up for debate.
For the bed?
Yeah. Do you want to go to the hospital or not?
Nah. I changed my mind.
All right.
All right, mine has been changed.
BB played way too much. She's playing on my time. She's playing on their time. Honey. Meanwhile, in the other room, Michelle is still in there talking to the walls.
So stupid. So stupid.
So then the officer said that Nicole was stinking up the place. They said the stench of decay on her had the whole precinct lit up. They was in there spraying and doing everything they could to get that odor out the precinct. It got so bad they had to transfer them to a different facility. I said, sheesh, I don't know, how can you ride around with that odor like that? No, child.
One officer fills the room with an odor spray, but when that fails to help, he brings in an air scrubber and tries the spray a second time.
So now they're taking BB, because they transported them in different vehicles. They're transporting BB to the other facility, and baby, she is hot. I mean, she is hot.
Like I said, if something happened to me tonight, it's gonna be war.
Yes, ma'am. I hate it here.
But fortunately, not long after that, the officers realized that BB really was mentally challenged and that she had nothing to do with the situation. So they ended up letting her go home. Justice for BB. So as if things weren't bad enough in that situation, the officers back at the vehicle realized that there was not one, but there was also another child that was in that trunk. It was a 5-year-old little boy. So the kid's name's 7-year-old. Her name is Jocelyn Marie James Johnson. She's 7. And Larry Darnell O'Neill, he's 5. So it turns out that these kids were actually Nicole's niece and nephew. Her sister, Deshelle, left them with her. For whatever reason, she wasn't in condition to take care of them. And honestly, neither was Nicole. And Nicole actually placed the blame on her sister for leaving them with her because she said, she's not a feasible candidate to take care of these kids. She felt as though she didn't have her stuff together. And, she was basically a prostitute. So she wasn't, she was, I guess, able to take care of herself, but she wasn't in any condition to take care of one, let alone 2. But back at the scene, the officers there were trying to figure out, the cause of death of these children. Meanwhile, at the precinct, I keep calling Michelle. Her name is Michelle, but I don't know why that comes easier than Nicole. But anyway, she actually confesses what happened. She said, she was just so frustrated with life and everything, that she was disciplining Jocelyn for whatever reason. From the way she told it, it was as if, she was just being bad, but you know how kids are. But she was just saying that she was basically doing things repeatedly that was annoying Nicole. And on top of, the stress of having to now take care of these kids, she just got overwhelmed. And she said she was disciplining her for something and maybe got carried away. She said she was basically beating her until she became non-responsive.
What did you do after that?
I tried. I just tried to bump her chest. I was bumping on her chest really, really hard. I told baby, she was like, I don't know. I was just trying. I was just bumping on her chest. I was just trying to get her back.
Okay. And then what did you do next?
I laid in the bed with her.
You laid her in the bed and laid next to her? Where was the boy at this time?
Asleep in the other bed.
Okay. Where?
I stayed in that room with her.
When do you think that was?
I told you, maybe last year.
And then what did you do with her body after that?
I just put it in a suitcase and I kept her.
Jocelyn's death is believed to have occurred around May of 2020, approximately 14 months before the traffic stop. Despite this, Nicole continued texting Deshelle as though Jocelyn was still alive. In April of 2021, Deshelle even thanked Nicole, writing, "Thank you for taking care of them so well." Nicole admits she continued traveling from hotel to hotel, carrying the young girl in the suitcase, eventually storing her in the trunk of the car.
So, what led to the next incident with the other child?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because it was 1 minute we was playing and then 1 minute it was just we were playing, we was playing. I think something hit him in the leg.
Yeah, but that wouldn't cause him to die.
Hmm.
Well, why would he die though?
I thought it was a main artery or something.
Okay, well explain that to me. Yeah, what happened?
I don't know, but then I know I saw him bleeding
Mm-hmm.
in his leg.
Where at on his leg?
I don't mean right here somewhere.
Right inside of his left thigh?
Yeah, but I did
Was the blood dripping?
So, the autopsy people, they noticed that Jocelyn's body was really badly bruised, but because the decomposition was so advanced, it was difficult to really detail and verify the cause of death. Also, the kids were extremely small for their age. Jocelyn, who was 7 years old, she only weighed 18 pounds, and Larry weighed 21 pounds. So their deaths were ruled as abuse and neglect on account of Nicole, who by this time they clearly realized has mental issues of her own. She was indicted on 14 criminal counts, including first degree child abuse, resulting in death, and many, 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 many other horrible, horrible counts and charges. And at the end of that, she was sentenced to life in prison. So, yeah, that's a very, very, very interesting story. It's so very unfortunate that things happen like that. You just never know what people are going through. You just never know. Like, they say it's a small world, but there's a lot of things going on in that small world. You know, you just never know. You just never know. So it's unfortunate that those babies had to go through that. It's unfortunate that she was put in that situation where she felt that, you know, she had to snap, or, you know, that she was pushed to that point. I don't know. It never was said that she was on drugs or anything. I don't know if it was a mental issue or if it was drugs, but something definitely was not right. And it's unfortunate that her sister didn't know that, or maybe at the time, maybe didn't care that she was putting her kids in more harm by leaving them with her sister. So it's an unfortunate story, but these things sometimes happen in this world that we live in. So all we can do is stay safe out here, stay prayed up, and, you know, do what we can to protect ourselves and those that we love. So I hope that you enjoy spending some time with me. I know this story and this vlog is a little different than most of the other ones. I've never done a crime documentary vlog on my channel until now. But let me know how you feel about this. Let me know your thoughts and your ideas about this story if you are already aware of it. You know, like I said, it's been out for some years. I'm just now finding out about it. But if you already knew about it, you know, I would love to hear your thoughts about it. So please feel free to leave me a comment. I will respond. And until next time, have a great one. And I'll see you. Bye.